Your quest for good news starts right now. Should you choose to accept, you'll find dogs sniffing out invasive species, discover the mental health benefits of Dungeons & Dragons, and meet a TV soccer player who's now the real deal.
Then we'll sprint to Zambia where cheetahs are making a comeback, stop in Atlanta for a library meetup, and finish with some birds who have something to say. It's all coming to you on the Feel Good Fastlane, your quick ride to a world that doesn't suck.
We're your hosts, Elliot Chaparelli
and Joy Ashanti Watkis.
We have to kill these things. I know they're pretty, but as you might already know, spotted lanternflies are an invasive species. My kill count the last couple summers has been in the double digits. But my count pales in comparison to the subjects of today's story. Pet dogs and their owners are being trained to hunt spotted lanternflies and their eggs. Meet Fozzie, a Labrador Golden Retriever mix and his owner Scott Hurst, as well as Finch, a Pit Bull mix and his owner Katie Thomas. Virginia Tech led the first study that shows volunteers like these and their pets can be trained to find egg masses of the spotted lanternflies. That's something humans alone struggle with. So far, 80 teams have been trained. Owners say their furry friends enjoy the hunt. It's like a game. Spotted lanternflies have the potential to do hundreds of millions of dollars in damage to vineyards and orchards across the United States. So next time you or your dog spot one of these things, make sure you stomp hard. And then stomp hard again for good measure. Okay, now I'm rolling the dice over to Joy Ashanti for our next story.
Did you know playing Dungeons & Dragons could improve your mental health? A Colorado State University research team surveyed over 100 gamers and found that the role-playing component allowed players to explore parts of themselves, process challenges, and develop stronger self-concepts. This showed improvements in their sense of identity, self-esteem, and their sense of belonging. One of the professors at CSU's College of Liberal Arts referred to it as, quote, drama therapy in the wild, end quote. There's also a growing group of therapists and mental health providers that are using this game as a tool. They combine fantasy storytelling with topics like surviving trauma, procrastination, grief, and so much more. A clinical social worker at DePaul University, Victoria Smith, said, quote, D&D therapy can feel more approachable than traditional therapy groups, providing a space where students can work on personal issues, develop skills, and most importantly, have fun, end quote. Speaking of fun, Elliot has a kickin' story for Ted Lasso fans.
Football is life! Na 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 na. Danny Rojas, Rojas, Danny Rojas.
Football is life. That's Danny Rojas, played by Cristo Fernandez's famous catchphrase in the Apple TV comedy Ted Lasso. Now that Cristo's story has wrapped in the popular TV show, football really is life. He's playing for the professional soccer team El Paso Locomotive FC. Fernandez is a football player turned actor turned footballer. From the age of 15 to 22, he played with professional teams in Mexico and Puerto Rico. After an injury, he went back to school and then started acting. He credits long days of playing soccer on TV for getting good enough to play professionally again. And that famous catchphrase from his character, it actually came from Fernandez himself. He uttered the words, "Football is life," in his audition, and the rest was history. If football is life, our next stop proves libraries are pretty life-changing too. Joy Ashanti?
Weekly visits to the library are part of my self-care routine. And in Atlanta, Georgia, Kari Arnold had a similar routine with his daughter, but he turned it into a nonprofit. The Library Dads is an organization that encourages fathers and their children to bond while enjoying the thrill of storytelling. This was inspired by the closeness Kari felt when he was reading to his 4-month-old daughter during their weekly library visits. He invited other dads and their children to share this experience, which grew into the Library Dads. These meetups have expanded to libraries all across the Atlanta area. They curate programs filled with story time, dancing, and activities for everyone. Attendees have praised these meetups for creating a brotherhood and a space for community alongside a growing love for reading. Fun fact, my first job was in the children's section of the library. I hope this idea expands to other libraries around the world. Back to Elliot with a wild story.
6 cheetahs have found a new home in Zambia's greater Luangwa ecosystem. The big cats have been absent for the area for 30 years, but rewilding efforts are working to reintroduce them. Scientists say the threats that drove the big cats out of the ecosystem, which included anthrax disease outbreaks and habitat disturbance, have been significantly reduced. Now, Zambia's Department of National Parks and Wildlife has plans to introduce 18 cheetahs by the end of 2027. I love to share a rewilding story with you guys on this show. So far, we've shared an entire zoo full of tigers, wolves, and rhinos, and now cheetahs. But I want to shout out a fantastic environmental news site where I find a lot of these stories, Manga Bay. Their goal is to inspire climate action through environmental reporting. Hopefully we get to share even more stories like this with you as more and more land is rewilded.
5 African gray parrots have become a main attraction for an interesting reason. Meet Billy, Eric, Jade, Elsie, and Tyson, the infamous swearing parrots at the Lincolnshire Wildlife Park. All 5 birds came from different homes, and there's a mystery where they learned this foul language. However, when they got together, all they did was egg each other on to keep swearing. I'm not mad at it. Due to their constant swearing at patrons though, the birds did have to be separated within the park, but that doesn't stop them from being themselves. They just swear less often. The park even came up with a cute idea to give their parrots their own swear jar.
So yesterday we had a bit of a discussion in marketing, and they said, has everybody seen the fact that the famous swearing parrots has hit the news again? 4.5 years it's been at it, and we've had hundreds of stories from all over the world, and so I'm actually in with them. And yesterday we came up with the idea of, let's have a little bit of a gimmick, and what we'll do is we'll create a little bit of a swear jar for the parrots.
I think this is such a funny story, and as they say, birds of a feather cuss people out together, or something like that. There's your bite-sized brightness for the day. Short stories that will leave you feeling good and knowing good fast. You should subscribe to our channel for more good news. This is insane.